Shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, to the Akim doing the work in truth and sincerity, as well as a few Akwat that listen and learn. This is Brother Shawar with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And, the spirit is on me to get into this. And I've heard many brothers talk about this, in recent camps and lessons that, you pretty much got to turn up and just focus in on the spirit, the things of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Focusing on your lot, because at any given moment, this thing could blow right open, and the Lord could just, we're really one event away, to trigger all the last prophecies. Everything is set in place. The beast system, the implementation of the RFID micro C-HIP, Revelation 13 and 16 is set in place with the CBDC, with the dollar collapsing, the economic collapse that they're manufacturing, these elites, all hell, people are, people are going through it, man. People are in all kind of different aspects, dealing with their money in the bank and jobs and, just other stress. And because the way this world is crafted, man, it's the people are just mourning, right? Proverbs 29:2. But everything is set in place, man. World War III, the Lord has these nations just pretty much is just tension amongst all the nations, man. And that the spearhead of that tension is Babylon the Great, America, which is the whore. Talked about in Revelation how the nations would hate the whore, And so everything is, Jacob's trouble going full blown, and these last prophecies, man, before Yahweh Shai's return are on the horizon. So what we got to do, man, is, men of the Lord and, fellow believers, women, whatever the case may be, whatever your lot is just continue to do the work until the very end. Because that's what the Lord is dealing with, right? The elect is going to do and believe. They're going to do the work and believe to the very, very end, man. They're not going to waver, right? So let's get this in the book of 2 Timothy 3 and 14. We'll start at 14. So this is 2 Timothy 3 and 14, and it reads, "But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hasn't been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach," right? So when we came into this truth as newborn babes, when, your mind was renewed, because when you come into the truth, man, you're pretty much starting over. You're going back to, spiritually, your values, your understanding. It's starting over, man, and you become a new creature, as the scriptures tell us. Right, so from the things that we've learned from, our spiritual fathers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, we got to continue in those things and build and expound upon it. And because this is the way to salvation, man. And if you can't see that, then the Lord isn't dealing with you. It's that simple. And this is the most important thing, man, is to be delivered from the said perils coming, man, from the destruction coming, to be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Because it's going to be a great destruction the Lord is about to bring on the earth, a time like never before since there was a nation, pursuant to Daniel, the 12th chapter. Right? So without the Lord's protection, without Yahweh Shai, covering us, we're going to get caught up in that judgment. And you want to be delivered. You want to be a part of the first go around, and, the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, to see the downfall of Esau, Edom, our enemies, the so-called white people that run the earth, dealing with, Amalek first, which are, your small hats, the JOOs, you know, and because of all the atrocities they've done unto the nation of Israel, so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? So let's go to the book of Matthew 7:22. And it reads, well, Salakia. No, let's get this instead, Salakia. I wanted to get that a little later. This is Revelation 3:15, and it reads, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Right? Lukewarm meaning, you know, just lethargic, you know, not serious. You know, those who are just, you know, pretty much trying to have one foot in the truth, one foot out. You know, one foot in the truth, one foot in the world. They're just not taking this thing seriously. The Lord is going to spew you out of his mouth, meaning he's going to take that spirit away from you, the portion that he did give you, you know, and he's going to give you unto the destruction, and give you unto strong delusion, you know, that you should believe a lie and, you know, these vain philosophies and whatnot, and lead you to the path that take that MOTB, which is a death sentence, you know, and just judgment, just destruction is what's coming for you. If you're not part of the elect, man, it's destruction coming for you and judgment. You know, besides that remnant of the heathen that's going to make into the kingdom of heaven. But billions of people are about to die, man, because the Lord is cleansing the earth, right? Because of the wickedness that be done in the midst of it. But again, if you're lukewarm in this thing, you know, you're just, you know, in between. You're not on fire. You know, the Lord isn't going to deal with you, man. You got to take this thing seriously. We got to continue to do the work, man. Just continue, you know, and look at the apostles, for example, man. The apostles have been laboring for longer than I know I've been alive, and many other brothers, you know, 30 years plus, 35, going on 40 years, you know, and they're on fire, more on fire than anybody. You know, we got to use that as motivation, and every man has their portion of faith. But whatever lot and portion the Lord has given you, you got to do your best to maximize it, man, and pray to the Lord for more faith and, you know, the ability and mental fortitude and spiritual fortitude to do that. Because this is what it's going to take, man. This is what we need. Because in doing all these things, you know, doing these lessons and studying and praying, you know, and rehearsing the righteous acts in our daily lives, it's going to lead to us being, you know, stable in the times to come, in the times of the days of evil. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, Isaiah 33:6. You know, and our faith, and it says the fear of the Lord shall be his treasure, and the strength of salvation, right? The fear and understanding of that, you know, the Lord is in control of all this, which is completely tied to our faith and belief in the prophecies and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But you're not going to be rooted in, you know, you're not going to be rooted in the truth. You're not going to be rooted in that faith if you're not doing the work constantly, if you're not, you know, constantly involved and on fire. You're not going to just be able to just, you know, turn it on in the last days when things pop off. Like sports, for example, like basketball, you know, like you look at the great players or whatever, and you see them, you know, they're constantly killing, putting up great numbers, and, you know, and it may look like they're just turning it on like a light switch, but they put in a lot of work behind the scenes, man, constantly. They're constantly working on their game, sharpening their, you know, their skills. You know, that's with any profession or craft or whatever. So when the time comes, when the lights come on, you know, they're ready. It's easy to them because they're prepared. Not to say Jacob's trouble is going to be easy, but, you know, you get the point. We're going to be prepared, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, because we've been doing the work now. But the people of the world, you know, what are they doing, man? They're constantly focused on folly. They're you know, it's a faithless, docile, stupid, weak generation that we live in, man. A bunch of wickedness, adultery, perversion, confusion, you know, and it all goes back to the rulership, Esau, Edom, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? So everybody's under the wicked vibration of Esau, Edom. You know, everybody, you know, these people are just completely not ready for what's coming. It's like they have no idea. Most people, it's like they have no idea, you know, or any sense of the time that we're in. But that's why in 2 Thessalonians, it tells us the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. But it's to those who, you know, aren't being circumspect, aren't paying attention to the signs, that don't have the Spirit. Ultimately, they don't have the Spirit of the Lord on them, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, to see what's going on around them, man, and to discern the times. Only the hopeful elect is going to have that. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. So let's get that Matthew that I wanted to, that I was going to read before, because I wanted to get that point first. This is Matthew 7:22. And it reads, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I knew you not, or I never knew you, Salakia. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock, right? So, and that's dealing with these, you know, really with these other Israelite camps and so-called believers in God. You know, they call upon the name of the Lord and whatever, and they think they're doing sincere work, you know, of the Lord, but ultimately there's only one truth and there's one gospel and one name, which is Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and his only begotten Son's name is Yahweh Shai. Right, and we believe that resides with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and the brothers on down, or the brothers that teach the likewise doctrine on down. Right, so a lot of people that even knew they were Israelites and, you know, even maybe knew the name. Not maybe, but a lot of them even knew the name and whatever. You know, they might have done lessons here and there, or they may have, you know, been a part of a camp or some, you know, they were involved in some aspect of the truth. A lot of these Jakes, a lot of these Israelites aren't going to make it. The Lord is going to tell them in that day by destroying them that he never knew them because they weren't sincere. They weren't on fire. All right. Or they didn't, you know, they were, you know, trying to fulfill their own lust, the lust of the flesh. And they weren't going according to the Spirit of the Lord, man, and really following what the Lord instructed us to do, because there's a certain spirit and manner that we're supposed to, you know, handle this truth in. So again, we got to continue to do the work and just take this thing seriously, because this is really life or death. It's life or death, man. That's what it is. It's our salvation in order to receive this everlasting life, man, and to not see death ultimately, to conquer death and to enter into immortality and to be delivered from what's coming. There's nothing greater than that, man. In this world, there's nothing, absolutely nothing that we can get in this world that comes close to that, especially how the Lord is going to bless us in the kingdom. Right? But and going to that verse, the 24th verse, the Lord said he's let's read the 24th verse again, Matthew 7:24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking, of course. So, you know, these most of these people of the world, and even these Israelites, whatever, who may call on Christ or Yahshua, whatever, who don't truly believe in Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, you know, they're not wise, man. They're not wise. Those who really trust in Yahweh Shai, the Lord likens us unto a man who built his house upon a rock, you know, a stable foundation. Right? We have, you know, the Lord is our rock, man. Yahweh Shai is that rock. He is the stable foundation, man. He is the gateway back to the Heavenly Father, our gateway back to paradise, the mediator, the deliverer. You know, that's his name, Yahweh Shai. He is the deliverer. Let's read the next couple verses. So Matthew 7:25, and it reads, "And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not. And that's the, the destruction, and then the said perils, all the things that's coming in Jacob's trouble. The pestilence, the death, destruction, the war, the nuclear missiles, people trying to kill one another, the cannibalism that's going to go on. It could be likened unto that, man, because that's what's coming. Destruction. But to those that are upon or to those that have that solid foundation of Yahushua, that house isn't going to fall, right? And it reads, for it was founded upon a rock, verse 26. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it, right? So ultimately, man, those who aren't ready to die for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai and don't have sincere, unmovable faith in the Lord, man, in the gospel, or teach a false doctrine, whatever the case may be, they're not going to make it. It's that simple. Of course, dealing with Israelites, because that's who the Lord is dealing with. But that goes for these heathen as well, because of course they don't have, their foundation is upon these false gods and Esau's philosophies and the things of this world, nonetheless. So no matter how it goes, man, if you're not an Israelite that's sincerely abounding in truth, 100% truth, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you're just not going to make it, man. And this is all the spirit of the Lord, too. It's all the will of the Lord. Right? So we can't even necessarily control it. That's why you got to pray. Pray to the Lord to keep you, in these days to come. So this is Luke 9:62, and it reads, and Yahushua said unto them, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. So, nobody who, got into the truth and even started teaching, and then turned back to stop and go back into the world, they're not fit for the kingdom, man. They're going to be destroyed. And so the scriptures also tell us that, judgment is going to start at the house of the Lord, and those that knew the Lord is going to get beaten with many stripes. Their judgment is going to be 10 times worse because they knew better and didn't do better. And that goes for men, women, children, because the Lord is not a respecter of persons. But once we get into this thing, man, once you click on a video, dealing with Hebrew Israelites, once you made a video, whatever, that was you entering the spiritual warfare that we're in. And the Lord says, if you turn back, man, you're not fit. So we got to keep going, man. This is the condition of the battle. We have to keep going. No matter what, man. Right? So let's get this in 1 Corinthians. Let's get a couple more and then we'll close it out. And that being said, let's get this in 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. It reads, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So, the Lord isn't unrighteous to forget our labor of love, man. So if we're sincere and we truly believe, man, and endure until the end, the Lord isn't going to forsake us, and we have to believe that and have faith in it. But that's the difference. Only the elect is going to be gifted with that faith to believe that far, to take it there, to be willing to die for this thing. Because that will happen to some of the elect. It tells us that in Revelation 20th chapter. But the Lord is going to take care of us no matter what. And we know his servants are going to eat in that day. Isaiah 65. These people are going to be going through it, man. But the elect is going to be that beacon of light amongst all this darkness that's going to go on. But it's going to be scarce, man, because it's only a few. It's a very small number compared to, the population of the earth. right? So we have to really believe, man. You got to have that faith. Faith is really what's going to get us through. You know, the elder Yasharala from Dallas has really been going into that. You know, faith is really the key, man. Faith is going to lead to everything. You know, it's going to lead to you taking it more seriously. You know, you making certain decisions. You know, it's going to keep you, you know, that's all tied into our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And fearing the Lord. That Isaiah 33:6. So let's get this in Matthew and then we can close it out. And to see how should I speaking, of course, is Matthew 10:22, and it reads, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake." Because, yeah, that persecution is coming as well. It's not going to be cool to be an Israelite pretty soon, very soon. And we're going to see a lot of people fall out and break because, again, they don't have that real faith. They're not serious about this thing. They're lukewarm. Or they just weren't built, right? Reading on, it says, "But he that endureth unto the end shall be saved." So that's the key, man. You got to endure unto the end. So it's not about what you've done in the past. It's not about, you know, it's not about none of that, man. It's about what are we doing now for the Lord? What did you do today? And what are you going to continue to do until the very end? That's what the Lord is looking for, man. So that's the key, man. That's the most important thing. So I just wanted to get into that. And, you know, of course, every man has different lots. You know, it's not every man is going to be on their level or have the faith of, you know, the Apostle Tahar. But whatever your lot is, man, take it seriously, embrace it, you know, and run with it, man. Run with your portion and don't look back and expound upon it. Grow. And like I said, pray for more faith, pray for more understanding and whatever, you know. Because the Lord, this is the Lord's program, man. And there's roles there's different parts of the body. You know, I'm pretty sure that's in Ephesians, the book of Ephesians, right? We're all in one body for Mashiach, man. And there's different parts of the body that different functions that make it work. But those functions go hard. Those functions do their job, right? So, Lord Williams was edifying, and, you know, they did what it was supposed to do through the Spirit. I'm going to close out, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, and the Bible Ball.